What's going on, everyone? So this is my Manchester United lineup for the Arsenal game coming up the weekend. So I would stay with the diamond formation. I do like how we're playing in that system at the moment. I wasn't too sure when Ollie introduced it, like the diamond, because I have always liked wingers myself. But we don't really have any natural wingers other than Dan James, and he's not at this level. So I do like it now. It took a little while for me to sort of get used to the style and the system of it, because it doesn't give you as much width at times, but I'm a fan of it now. So we're getting results with it, so that's all that matters. So David De Gea would be in the sticks for me. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. I thought he's been very good recently. I thought he was a bit lacklustre before the last 2 or 3 games, but since then he's been brilliant. I think could always work on his attacking side of it, but he's doing a good job at the moment. Now, right centre-back, I want Tuanzebe in there, but I do think he'll go with Lindelof. And because we got a clean sheet against Leipzig, I would stick with Lindelof, even though I said in the post-match that he did make mistakes that I caught of him doing that we got away with. I felt Tuanzebe might not make them mistakes, but because we're in such a good team chemistry at the moment, and the positivity and the feel good factor, I would keep Lindelof in there just for that reason. And we're getting results, so you don't really want to change and mess with the lineup too much. So I'd keep him in there. Maguire left centre back. I think he's been more solid recently. I still don't think he should be captain, but I would stick with him for now. Luke Shaw, obviously if Telles was fit, I didn't know the other day what was going on, but since I did the video, found out he's got COVID, so hopefully he'll be back soon. He would be my left back, but being that he's out, I'd start Shaw. Luke Shaw can do a job. He's still a very good player. I just think when Telles is back, Telles would take that position for me. Fred would be my holding midfielder, the back of the diamond. Incredible the other night. Been critical of him in the past, but just he was my man in the match. Rashford, yes, he got a hat-trick, and yes, he's been on form, but without Fred in that game, that ain't happening in my opinion. So incredible the other night. Obviously, you guys that watch these videos know that I'm a big fan of Matic, but I think Fred's performance the other night, you can't argue, he has to be starting, so he's won me over in that sense. So well done to Fred. I wasn't sure whether to go with Greenwood or Mata, but because they're a bit deeper and not as further forward as other formations, I would go with Mata over Greenwood, because Mata has played that role more in his career. I think he will track back a little bit more than Greenwood would, but you could argue if Greenwood could play there as well, because he probably could, but I'd like Greenwood more further forward. So I would start with Mata on the right of the diamond. Donny van de Beek would be on the left. You got to either go for Pogba or Donny, and in my opinion, I'd go with Donny. A lot of people would go with Pogba, but it's all preference at the end of the day. I just don't think Pogba's fully fit. I don't believe he's truly at it, and I still question his mentality sometimes. He did a good assist the other night for Greenwood, don't get me wrong, but like I said in that video, that pass that led to that goal, you expect about 3 or 4 of them, even if we don't score per game from Pogba, because he's got that in his locker, but we don't see that from him. So I would go with Donny. I think he looks good. I thought he was average the other night, but he didn't get a great deal of service, so he didn't have a help from his teammates in that sense of playing him in for an individual standout performance. So, but I would go with Donny van de Beek on the left of the diamond. Bruno at the top. I don't think you can play anyone else there. I mean, Donny could play there, and you could switch between Donny and Bruno for these roles, I think. But I would stay with Bruno behind the front too. We all know what Bruno brings. Like the fight, the leadership, the technical ability, just captain material. And for me, he should be captain. So, but Bruno would be my cam, and then I'd have Rashford on the right up front, and Cavani on the left up front. Cavani may not be fully fit yet, but he looks good to me. I think he's fitter than people think he will be. And you could play Greenwood with Rashford. I'm not mad with that. But I would go with Cavani and have Greenwood as an option coming off the bench, because he takes his chances anyway, Greenwood. And I think if he's left on the bench, he's going to be like, right, I'll show you. When you bring me on, you're going to see where I should be starting. I just want to see a bit more Cavani right now. So I would put Greenwood on the bench, but I'd have Rashford on the right at the front too, and Cavani on the left. And my bench, I would have Henderson, Tuanzebe, Pogba, Greenwood, Matic, McTominay and James. Not been very impressed with McTominay or Dan James, to be honest, but we don't have a great deal of depth in them positions, so it kind of just fills the bench themselves for that, because we haven't got a great deal of depth. Maybe you could put Rojo in there, but then again, that's more defensive, so... And maybe Brandon Williams, but I would stick with McTominay and James on a bench, even though... Because I think James could come on, and just because of his pace, he can cause teams problems. It's just his decision-making in them clinical moments that lets him down for me. But the pace is always going to cause problems. So it's always a good option to have that off the bench when later on in the game, when the opposition is more tired, he can run at people and expose them gaps more, because he's got the energy, and the players that are on the opposition are going to be fatigued, and he can really exploit that. So, and then you've got like the option of Matic coming off the bench for if Fred's legs get tired near the end, and Matic is very experienced and can do a job. So I'm happy with my team. I like the diamond formation now, and I think I'm feeling confident about this Arsenal game. I think that they could cause us problems like any team can, but I don't think they're going to cause us any more problems than Chelsea did. So I think we're going to win this game. I did say that for the Chelsea game when we got a draw, but I don't think these are as strong as Chelsea. And Chelsea is still building a team and still getting used to that team chemistry, remember. And I think Chelsea is still a better team than Arsenal. So I think we're going to beat Arsenal. They may get a goal, but I don't think they will. I think we will win this game pretty comfortably if we do the simple things right. If Fred's like he was at it against Leipzig, Rashford's clinical, Cavani might get him his first goal. Do you know what I mean? Bruno on the ball. I don't really see them causing us too much problems. Obviously, they've got Aubameyang. I think he'll be their main danger man. Banter FC, they're called, Arsenal, for a lot of United fans. And I can see why. So we have to exploit that. We have to be at them from the whistle, from the get-go. And I think we will do that, because the team's going into this game with a lot of confidence, a lot of good results. And I think defensively we were a hell of a lot better than they are anyway, and we have been for a number of years. I think that defensively we're a lot stronger than they are, and I think De Gea is a lot better than Leno is. So the only concern is the centre-backs. I mean, they've been good recently, but we've seen in the past that they can get exposed. So I think a lot of this game comes down to the performance level of Lindelof and Maguire again. That's why it's a risk playing either Lindelof or Maguire ahead of Tuanzebe. You can partner Lindelof with Tuanzebe or Maguire with Tuanzebe. But I think that game is going to factor heavily on how Lindelof and Maguire perform, if they're the two that start, and I think it will be, because we know how loyal Ollie is to these two. And recently they've been backing it up, so fair play to them. I'm confident about this game. I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester United. I think I'm going to go Rashford 2 goals, and I think Bruno. I reckon a Bruno penalty maybe. So yeah, 3-0 Manchester United. Let me know your thoughts and comments, how you're feeling about the game, who your lineup would be. And yeah, get in the comments, man. I appreciate everyone supporting. I think it was the Leipzig match recap and player ratings got over 1,000 views, which is quite a big number for my channel. I've got it in the past on a few videos, but I appreciate everyone that viewed that video and give it a thumbs up, even the dislikes, because look, you're not going to please everyone. I'll come on this channel and I'm being authentic, I'm being honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give you who I think should be playing, and I'm going to give my honest opinions. Like in the past, I said, I was Ollie out, and at the time I felt warranted. I felt like I had a reason to be, and certain players. And they've sat me down on that, and I'm glad they did, because that's what should happen. Not offended by that. People might be like, look at you hating, now what you're saying. And I'm like, I'm not saying nothing, because they've turned it around. I'm now happy, like, that they've proved me wrong. Now I'm a fan, and I'm getting behind them. That's what I wanted to see, but I wasn't seeing that before. So I think it's warranted. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that viewed that video and supported it. And I hope you enjoy these videos, and there'll be more coming. Appreciate everyone supporting. And I'll catch you on match day. I'll be doing a video when the lineup gets announced like usual. And enjoy the game, and I'll see you soon.